Hello and welcome back to another episode of Wrong Ones Podcast. I'm Dinesh Sagi, joined by Amar and Pang. How are we?
Hello, guys. Not too
Yeah, good
bad.
man.
How are you?
Yeah, surviving as usual. Lot going on with the IPL, and obviously now trying to keep track of all the games. It's like a game every day, so yeah, can't complain.
Yeah, you're again in the sunny side.
Yep, we have a lot of sun today, but it's equally cold. Can't complain. Like
Can't complain. You got
yes,
best of everything.
best of everything as things stand. Apart from my team, where I put my money on, hasn't been doing really well. Talking about my team, obviously KKR, playing at Mumbai over the weekend. Uh, I don't know, like where to start with KKR. Obviously, they were asked to bat, and they only managed a mere 116 is all they've scored. Apart from the Yankee Raghuvanshi, who scored 26, and a small contribution from Manish Pandey and Ramandeep Singh down the order. Just nothing in that batting lineup. So maybe let's start with that, right? So obviously, MI won the toss. It's their first home game, so they opted to ball first. But from KKR standpoint, I'm starting to like wonder, like is it still a right idea for KKR to have Sunil Narayan and Decock like sort of open, like left? I know it sort of worked well for them in the past, but I'm starting to realize, maybe one of them needs to go number three. I know Narayan maybe not. Your thoughts?
Um, yeah. Well, first of all, I have to say that Mumbai walked all over them really, both while batting and bowling. So and on the field as well. So KKR were nowhere in the game. They were never in the game. They never turned up. But talking about Quinton de Kock and Sunil Narayan. Now the thing is, Quinton de Kock has retired. Like right, so he hasn't got that match practice, or I would say, he's not in regular play as he used to be. And if you think about Sunil Narayan is not, or he wasn't a batsman before KKR pushed him up the order. He had the skills, so he's kind of that player which he was asked to bat, and he could bat. So I'm thinking, Sunil Narayan can still do that. It's just that he's not clicking. And Quinton de Kock, he just needs to come back into the form. In last match, he made runs, and it looked like he's getting back to the form. It's just that in early on he's failed in more matches than he has succeeded. So I think that's what is happening here. But I, I would still not alter the batting order. I still feel Quinton de Kock and Sunil Narayan are good there at the opening slot, with Ajinkya Rahane in number 3, and of course the new guy Raghuvanshi. So they can kind of stabilize the innings, keep the runs going, and then Venkatesh Iyer, Rinku Singh, they can come down the order. Andre Russell. Now Andre Russell is also another guy who needs to make runs. So they, in this lineup, we can see these guys who can, or who used to make big runs, but at the moment they are not. So it's just a matter of them coming back into form and clicking. But I don't see altering the batting order will help here.
So,
Anything you would like to add?
yeah, no, I'm slightly different on that point, right?
Hmm.
So, I would like to see Ajinkya and Narayan open. There's a reason behind it, right? So, Ajinkya stats after 6 overs, right? After power play, especially with spinners, is not great. Okay. His strike rate is not good, but in power plays, even with spinners, his strike rate is good. Compared to Decock, he's a very good player of spin. Okay. And he can thrash. And if you see the 97 runs which he scored, those came in after power play, right? So he's got that power hitting compared to what Ajinkya does not have, right? So, and the other thing is, like, when you have a team, when they're two left-handers, right? The opponent teams can strategize against you. So there are a few things. Okay, let me see. Like, if you're a bowler, you have a medium pace bowler or a spinner, right? If you know there are two left-handers, then it's easier for you to control your line and length, because both side left you can have the same type of field. There's less field adjustments. But say after a ball, say a right-hander is and a left-hander is there, right, and you come and bowl, then your line and length has to shift. So for a bowler, right, that muscle memory, you have to understand, like, and that's why you get some wides always when you have a right and left combination, right? for a bowler, for the captain to strategize. You make some mistakes. The bowler makes some mistakes. The captain makes some fielding mistakes, and that's where you get those runs. It's easier to rotate strikes. Like if you're two left-handers, you'll bring an off spinner. Where a right-hander is there, you won't. You see. So these are few things which, and especially T20 is such a short format of the game, right? If it was like a ODI, then it's fine. It's a very different thing altogether. But in T20, you have to have a left-right combination because you want to make the captain make some mistakes, the opponent captain and the bowlers as well, because the line and length has to shift very quickly, right? You don't have time because you get if you take long, then in the last overs there will be only four fielders outside. So Ajinkya, in based of his stats, is not a good hitter of spin after 6 overs. Narayan cannot bat, after power play, So both of these guys need to bat the first 6 overs, right? Deepak can come in. Deepak, if and the thing is, Narayan is like a hit and miss, right? He is technically a number 9 batsman who's like gone to open. So even if they lose wickets, Deepak is still, he still gets those power plays. He's still a good player of, he can still open technically, right? But Narayan gets going, and with the left to right combination, they cannot strategize against Narayan and bring a spinner, like an off spinner, right? So this is a few things which I think so. They should see Ajinkya, like he can be much better if he opens. And at this age, Ajinkya has better strike rate under the power play. So that's my view, though.
Sure, right. One of the pieces, just picking up on what Amma said, right? So if you look at the playing 11, right, out of the 11, five of the batsmen actually are not playing any more competitive cricket. What I mean by that is Tikok, Sunil Narayan, Rahane, Andrew Russell, Manish Pandey. None of them play for their respective countries any longer, or they don't play the same level of cricket where some of the other squads have, where they're actually playing for their respective countries. They're playing more competitive cricket, whereas these guys, yes, they play a little bit of Ranjis and the local leagues. So do you think that is sometimes important to have players who are actually playing at that highest level, have that competitive games behind their back, so that when they come into because as much as IPL is a local an Indian league, but the competition here, the pressure here is nothing less than an international game. Like you're playing almost like
Um,
a World Cup.
Yeah, well, certainly in case of Quinton de Kock, we saw that in the first game as well. He was struggling to put back to the ball, and he totally looked out of place in his first game. But then eventually he came back. So it's kind of he's getting into that groove slowly. That only says that he's lacking match practice, and had he be playing regularly at that highest level, then he wouldn't be facing this problem. Um, Maybe that is happening with Sunil Naran as well. He just needs more practice. He has done. I mean, both of them have opened for the teams, and they have done really well up front. So I can only put down to that. And of course, they can use like new players like Raghuvanshi and
Mhm.
Venkatesh Iyer and these guys. But yeah, or even Andre Russell, if you think about it. He's a guy who can tonk the ball lower down the order, but he's struggling at the moment.
Yeah,
So yeah, they just need to maybe progressing through the tournament they will improve, but by then points lost will hamper them.
absolutely. Yeah. Before we come to Dreras, right, I have a question on Venkatesh Iyer. Obviously, now KKR went all in to bring him back. Like they spent close to like 23, 24 crore. And yesterday, personally, again, I'm not criticizing the player. He's definitely a good talent. You have like four down already. The previous delivery before he got out, he got the similar length, he let it go. And the following delivery, I'm not sure what got into his head. And he tried to obviously scoop it and just got the outside edge. I mean, sometimes you start to wonder, of all the experience and the amount of pressure and game awareness, this sort of, you know, I don't know if it's lack, or it's just maybe they just have a moment where they think, oh, let's counter attack when they're four down and you're probably one of the last recognized batsmen with like a Rinku on the other side. Maybe just build a partnership. This is something we hear a lot from the commentators as well, even in T20s. Yes, the approach is to go bang bang, but when you lose early wickets, it's important to build a partnership, try and get to that 15th, 16th over. And that's where the likes of Bray Russ, we've seen history as well. Breras is more effective when he walks in at a 16th or a 17th over rather than a 10th over or 11th over. So maybe a quick word on Iyer. Do you guys agree? He could have done something different. Punk.
Absolutely, man. That is like ridiculous to play. The thing is like you can play like what you call like percentage shots, right? Try to go and like try over the top, right? When you have lost like 3 wickets in the power play, right? You're on the fourth wicket. Come on, your batting lineup could be till number 8 because of the impact player rules, but you won't be able to score. You If just like
Yeah.
they could have played another 3-4 overs, right? That would have given at least 20-30 runs, got some momentum, and they had the power hitters, right? And Russell, as we mentioned, right, Dinesh, the impact for Dinesh that Russell is actually did us right is from 16th over, right? Especially when they bat in chasing, sometimes it's slightly different. When there's a lot of runs, then they might just bring him, to just normalize the score. But when it's coming batting, right, 16th over is where he comes in and he just goes bang, 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 right? Plus he's injury prone, right, with his knees and all that, right? So he cannot do those runs, 1 or 2 runs, right? So the power hitting is needed where there's less likely to run around and rotate strike. Rinku, Iyer, the thing is like what's gone, like and this is like I would call it the SRH syndrome. Yeah, that you just go bang, 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 and if SRH also is showing that that doesn't work, you have to understand the game, see how many wickets are there, right? You need to at least not get out in 16 overs, man. If you get all out in 19 overs, makes sense. That means you've still got enough runs on the board. You have to like get those partnerships, get your feet moving, understand the wicket, because if they're 3 wickets down, that means something is there in the wicket, right? There's swing or there's spin or something is, or it may be a slow track, the ball's not coming. So you have to understand, you just can't go and hit from the first ball, right? Most of the players, right, they're in immense pressure to go from ball one, and like Venkatesh, right, it was like 9 balls and just 3 runs. That pressure went to him because it was okay in the power play. We have to go and hit it. It was the fifth five. He got out on the 5.4. That was the ball which went out. Is that the pressure that okay, there are 2 players, outside? We have to hit those last 2 balls, but you have to see that you got like 3 wickets down. If it was just 1 wicket, it makes sense. So the risk percentage, the calculation. You have to have a chess mindset. That okay, the opponent team is now right on top. Let's calm down the nervous energy around. Let's for the next few 1-2 overs, right? Let's get some few runs, and then they have their power hitters, right? They can always just go and start hitting. Ashutosh, like if you remember the first game, I just wanted to give an analogy. In the first 20 balls, he had 20 runs. In the next 12 balls, he scored 40 runs. You see, he just went bang, 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 bang. So it's if you are a power hitter, right? You need to decide when to hit, not the opponent decides, right? The opponent knows that, like, okay, now, these guys in pressure, right? There's a good chance we'll get a wicket. So they'll give you those bouncers or some lollipop balls, right? And then because you're the nervous energies that you are thinking of hitting, your strike goes, you don't have that bat speed. Your timing goes wrong because you're trying to overhit this thing rather than timing the ball. So these are things, right? And that's what's happening. You have to have, like, it was just fifth over. You could have relaxed.
Yeah,
There's another 16 overs to go.
absolutely.
Just few more balls. So this is something which they have to understand. If you want to be a good player,
Hmm.
you have to look at the situation as well, right? And this is where, like, other players like Panton, they don't look, and everybody wants to tell, like, okay, that is his batting style. It's not the batting style. You have to look at the situation and understand where your team's standing, and based on that, how you take the game away.
Yeah,
So yeah,
agreed. Right. Oh, obviously that's KKR, but obviously now the big story from yesterday is Mumbai's new find Ashwani Kumar debut, 23 years old. Again, another story of IPL. Someone who didn't play a lot of first class cricket. He only played 2 games, 4 listed games, 5 T20s. Wasn't even in the reckon for anything. But then apparently he played some Punjab Shera League, a T20 league, where he was highest wicket taker. Another story I found out like through socials is apparently CSK scouted him, but then MI sort of reached out to CSK and sort of brought him over to MI because of their requirements. And I mean, what a story, Amar.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? And apparently, before the match, he just had a banana. He was, I don't know, excited or nervous or whatever. He didn't have his lunch, and I would like to know where he got that banana from. But yeah, really good banana. The thing is, yeah, CSK had Ashwini as a net bowler, and they Mumbai had seen him or heard about him, and they reached out to CSK and had quite a lot of phone calls, as they said, to get him. After the match, we could see Hardik Pandya. What he said was, um, when he was bowling and these senior players tried him, and they found him that he was a really good bowler, because he was the senior players were finding it difficult to play him, and then they thought, okay, we have someone here, let's play him, and they gave him a chance. So, and um, as it is happening at the moment, you give a newcomer a chance, and he gives you a absolutely brilliant performance. That's what happened with Ashwini Kumar here as well. And all these batters, Quinton de Kock, Ajinkya Rahane, Brinko Singh, who had been, international players, they found him really, really difficult to play. But yeah, he was bowling, good lines as well, and then he had a bit of bounce as well. So he was really bowling his heart out, and good areas. So these players found him really difficult to play. So it looks like a promising newcomer for MI, and really hats off to MI that they are bringing in these new talent, and they're performing. So it really tells something about their, of course, scouting, and also their dressing room, that they're making these new players feel comfortable so that they perform to the best.
Just to add to this, right? I just feeling, IPL should have like an award for the best scouters
Yeah.
um, every year, right? And give some good prize money, right? That will actually, that will help. Give good prize money for like getting the best, debutant and best scouters, right? So they get the prize because they've scouted them, and that team, like, based on the performance of these debutants, right? That could be a way of encouraging
But
people to go around the country and getting really good
Yeah,
talent.
yeah. At the
on
moment, I mean, they are giving a token of appreciation to all the grounds, and so
ground
yeah,
staff,
definitely
yes, yeah.
ground stuff. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
but one of the points I wanted to mention here was that if this year's IPL, if you look at it, the newcomers are giving you better performances than the more established players, for some reason. Maybe there is a I don't know, maybe failure to succeed, or failure to perform, or fear to perform, I would say, by the more established ones. I don't know, and these guys are playing fearless cricket. The newcomers, I don't know what is happening, or maybe there's a pressure of new kind of approach, like they have to go up front batting. They can't relax on, they can't play dot balls and stuff. I don't know what is happening, but it seems like more often than not, the players who are coming in and they have nothing to lose, in a way, that they are performing. I mean they're putting their career, online, like in terms of starting as new. But I see that difference.
So just to add to that, that's one of the reasons, right? Because if you're a senior player, right, and like you're going for big bucks, you have the price tag on your head. But apart from that, there's other things like with newcomers, like say Ashwini Kumar and like Vignesh and all this. You haven't seen them much, yeah. So uh, there's no footage of them because they've hardly played any leagues. And even in the Punjab league, like, you only get like, you won't get like live videos of those. You might have got from some footage here and there, right? That's it. But you won't get that footage where you can actually analyzing whatever bowls, what mystery bowling they're bowling, what is the weakness in batting and all that, right? So sometimes you might think, oh, most Indian players, they're weak in short ball, and you try that and they scoop you, a reverse scoop, and there's that, right? So until they don't play for a season or something, the opponents won't realize the weakness. Like Shreyas Iyer, for example, like he had the weakness of the short ball. Till I told you about the stance, how he changed, and how good he's become over the last when he came back to play for India in that ODI series, right? His entire stance changed because the weakness was of a short ball, right? So people realize that, and he used to struggle, and you should get this quick bouncer and get him out. So most of these youngsters who are coming, right, over the season, the teams will analyze them, right? Maybe the last 4 5 games, right, out of the 14 games that they're playing, right, they will be seeing those footages, whatever for ball Ashwini bowls, right? What is his Yorker length, and where, how does he swing the ball? What is his mystery ball? Wrong ones and like slower ones, all that, like change in hand skills. So with that footage, you'll see more players like analyzing those batsmen and the bowlers,
Mm.
and you might see slightly different the approach for them. So yeah,
Do you
that's like
think?
my understanding as well.
Do you think there's a bit of complacency as well from the teams that of course we don't have the footage, but then we'll deal with them. They're just newbies, so we'll deal with them. Do you think there is a sense of complacency? But maybe after these
No,
performances, there won't be.
so
But until now,
yeah, so if I see a new bowler, right, or like I'm just saying, this is my view. Okay, if I see a new bowler, right, I will try to get on top of him in the first ball itself, because a team comes with like 5 or 6 bowlers. Yeah, if I can smack the youngster for a six in the first ball, or get him for like 15 20 runs, the entire strategy of the opponent teams will go away. You see, that means
yeah,
they are in immense pressure, right? Then the weaklings of see, every team carries 1 or 2 bowlers as weaklings, right? So those weaklings have to be bowling like not 2 overs, they'll have to bowl 4 overs because the youngster is in pressure, right? So most of the teams think that way, that okay, this is a new bowler, right? If I can smack him, okay, in the first over, that means the captain will not risk him, because they also have to give confidence to the youngster, right? If it goes for like say 60 runs for 0 wickets, say Ashwini, for example, right, he's done immensely well, right? But like say he went for 60 runs for 0 wickets, he wouldn't have he will not get another chance. You see, so that
Yeah.
means the opponent's strategy is changed, and then that's it. He's not going to get another IPL match.
Yep.
Okay, so it's that's how they strategize, right? But then when they understand, okay, this guy is not like a a lollipop puller, like what we call it, right? So the next game or the next team, whoever's seen the guys bowling, right, they'll give some respect to him. You see, so that's what goes in.
Yep. I mean, can't agree more, right? Obviously, all in all, another good find for MI, and hopefully, Ashwani Kumar
Absolutely.
continues to deliver. Quickly, before we close out, like obviously from an MI standpoint, it's good to see Ryan Rickelton get some
Yeah.
runs.
Just to add on the scout for MI, right? I would try to give him like a Padma Shri, whoever
I
bought
was about to say,
Bumrah.
I think MI might win this every year
Yeah.
because of Bumrah, Pandya brothers.
So if I was about to give an
I
award, I would
Yeah,
give the Padma Shri to that guy whoever bought Bumrah.
absolutely,
Spotted Bumrah, sorry,
and
yeah.
Pandya too.
Just
So
to add
yeah, yeah.
to a legend category.
But yeah, on that note, obviously, now let's see how things unfold for KKR going forward. Obviously, now some of this feedback is taken into consideration from their management, and hopefully, now they sort of be more competitive in the upcoming games. Obviously, before we close out, like always, subscribers, viewers, wherever you are, share your feedback. Anything, it's always appreciated. Good to know, like what you like and what you don't like. Vice versa, like Amar always says,
hit the bell icon.
yes. And as we sort of come up with more games, we'll try and cover every game possible, and then give our opinion. Like we always say, just our opinions. We respect your feedback as well. Thank you for your time again, and thank you both as always. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, gents. Bye.